Okay, it's time for our fortnightly chat with the boss, and I've got a few bits and pieces to run by him today, and I see cringing there, wondering what's going to come this time.
Nay, lad.
But they all think that you know what's coming anyway, don't they? So
Yeah,
there we go.
because after all, I do have quite a bit of spare time on my hands to talk to you boys, don't I?
Right, so let's get on with it. Good news this morning for the Metros. New sponsor on board, Howard Basford. Whole shake-up of the whole system. You want to tell us a wee bit about it?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they've been involved for quite a while now, but on a much smaller basis, and their involvement with the Manchester Phoenix Premier team has been good, and their involvement with junior sustainability has been really good, and they've just decided that they'll bridge the gap and help us bring things a little bit closer together. So they'll be involved with the Premiership team and, of course, the National Ice Hockey League team. I will get used to this shortly, all these changes. Best known to everybody else as the E&L boys. So yeah, I think they're a good company to have involved because Tracy, who is the, should we say, the driving force behind them being involved with us, has got two sons that actually are involved in the junior system. I've been for a while, and they've been tremendous. You know, they've been great. And they've come up through the ranks, and I think he truly understands the value of larger corporates being involved in the community at this level and just helping to ensure that young people can participate in sport. And a lot of people don't understand that, you know. Plus, from a commercial aspect, they know how to get their brand recognised with us, and they know how to attract customers. So really, it's a really nice fix, and it's a nice partnership, and one that we've signed up for 3 years, Jim. So it's another
stability.
Well, it's longevity for us again, and yeah, I'm really pleased because it's great to have a commercial business on board that actually understands the community side. Whereas, you know, we attract a lot of community people who don't understand commerciality and vice versa, and it takes quite a long while before everybody really sets themselves and gets the best out of it. So yeah, it's good for all of us, I think.
Right, you can read a bit more about that on the front page of our website. That went on this morning. And what about the big boys, the senior club? Always a negotiating time with sponsors at this time of year. Is it going to plan?
Yeah, it's going to plan. It's going to plan. It's difficult because, you know, oh God, you know, how many times, what's this, 4 years we're having these same conversations, but the recession's really took a grip, and, you know, there are not many businesses have got any spare money. You know, most of them are using it in their operating capital to operate the business and pay their wages, and there is very little money around. So the Manchester Phoenix has had to completely restructure the strategy for selling advertising and sponsorship, and we have to be able to measure now exactly how that company's money is spent and what return they get, and that's took us quite a bit of work, to be honest. It's probably took 2 years to put together, and you know, as you know, we have a group of young students that are now affiliated to the academy, similar to the production people that we have, working on marketing and sales with us, and we've had to rebuild all of that completely from the ground upwards, but we've now got a model that's working. We're now able to show that we've got a return back for sponsors. So it's going in the right direction. I'm not going to sit here and jump up and down, Jim, because it isn't easy, but it's never really been easy. I think it's just got tougher. And I think most of us probably 5-6 years ago probably thought it couldn't get any harder. So I'm being very careful what I say, because it just has. It's got harder, and a lot of people don't see the value of ice hockey. What they don't realise is that the Manchester Phoenix has a much bigger virtual audience than it has a physical audience.
Absolutely.
And what I mean by that is, you know, we maybe have 1,200, 1,500 people a week turning up regularly to watch the game physically. But, you know, we've probably got, I don't know, the guys probably put me straight here, about 5,000 members on Facebook and maybe 4.5 on Twitter. And then I think Carl, that runs the main site for us, said, you know, we have something like 12,500 individual hits a week on the website. So we have a much bigger audience out of the building than we have in the building, and the way that we run the sponsorship, very quickly without boring you, is that we have a site that attracts customers that's just coming online now, that all our main sponsors advertise for us. So if our main sponsors, our big sponsors, are doing sort of 50 to 100,000 hits, and there are 5 of them, we're attracting sort of like 200,000 eyeballs as customers. which is all our sponsors are interested in, not so much the ice hockey as an event. I think
Somebody see their brand as well. That's absolutely right.
I think they could, we could be doing mud wrestling, and I think some weeks we are. But
Season tickets, the early birds drawing to a close. So
yeah,
basically, what is the early bird? Does some people think early bird? What are they talking about?
it's funny that, because somebody asked me last night what the hell it was all about, why it's called early bird. The answer is that the whole price of the ticket is far cheaper than the price sold afterwards. So we have a term where we try and sell as many tickets as we can, normally just over 50% of the total, where people can buy it cheaper. I think what's better this year, and we started last year, Mags is doing it, which is a great idea, is that you can actually still get an early bird, but make payments all the way up to the start of the season. So it's great. So you sort of you're getting the early bird price, but paying for it over maybe 4 or 5 months. And I think that's a really good way. And the other thing that people did last year is they joined the club that Mags has set up, where they paid for their next ticket over 12 months and bought it straight away. And the other thing is, the obvious things is you, obviously, if you haven't taken early bird by that point, you lose your seat.
Right, we'll get Mags in.
What I mean by that is you lose the ability to have the same seat back that you might have had. It goes on sale to everybody at that point. So
Nice.
so
An
so
incentive, isn't it? Yep.
it's a better way to buy your ticket. It's over a period of time now. It's cheaper. Probably shouldn't say this, but it's probably better for me if you all buy them late at full price. Anyway,
I've got mine on monthly instalments, so
in everybody's favour, it's better to buy them at early bird, because it's the most
Absolutely.
cost-effective way of buying it, and you don't lose your seat.
And off the top of your head, how are we doing tickets-wise so far?
Well, you know what? We're doing as well as we were doing last year. So I think we should be happy at that, because I was looking at latest figures yesterday, and most what we call beeline sports have lost between 12 and 15% of their audience.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. And I think you're going to see a lot more smaller teams going into liquidation again. They just cannot manage, and I think they're all struggling. And you know what? I have some great people behind the scenes helping me, as you know, and we struggle getting more people through the door, and we struggle getting more sponsors on board. And I think we've got a great package. I think we've got something where we can measure new customers coming into sponsors, which is fantastic. And I think we've got a really exciting night for people when they come that isn't that much more expensive than going to the cinema now.
Yes.
Not that I'm saying the cinema isn't great, because I go myself, I love it, but I'm putting things into context. We are still in Manchester, not being measured by everybody else, by the way, and we have different rates and all sorts of different things here, but we are still the cheapest sporting ticket in town.